Hello again, fellow YouTubers. It's Diogenes Lamp, and I'm back with some new news on my Motobecane Model 7, from 1978. This bike, as I had mentioned in another video, was only 2% of American production, and what the significant thing is, it says, of course, the Model 7 right there, but it's no rear suspension. So they actually had a Puch that was like that, but it was like the entry-level bike, so it only weighs 88 pounds, so this thing is pretty dramatic. As far as, lightness, you can just pick it up and throw it around. Anyway, my problem was, well, I had a lot of problems, but let's talk about what the updates are for now. Obviously, I put a new belt on it. You could see that. That was really cheesy, but that's not the main thing. Take a look at the cylinder. Okay, I took the cylinder head off, polished the cylinder on with white rouge with a buffing wheel. Double checked to make sure everything was good with the compression release. The first time I went to put the new cylinder on, which is one of these, it's a treat cylinder, but it says Motobecane, genuine Motobecane, but it wasn't. It was a Chinese cylinder, but it was of good quality, so I would have to recommend it. I had destroyed the base gasket, so I had to order more of those, and the new ones that I received from Treats actually were thinner, and they were actually better designed, because the first one I got with the whole kit that they send was thicker, and it wasn't cut out right for the ports. I actually had to get some scissors and cut it a little bit. But this one went on perfectly. You just have to flip it up and upside down and right side up and see which way fits best. Also, I had to trim the intake port. The piston rings. I damaged the piston rings because I've built a lot of engines, but I never saw a piston that actually had pins in the lands of the grooves where they line up. Another thing that I did that helped out is I put the piston pin clip in on one side, and I put the piston in on the bench. Basically, the way I did it is there's an area where you could squeeze the piston rings as you're shoving them in. I did the first one in a way so that I could squeeze it, and they go in where the little pin that I'm talking about is 90 degrees. So you squeeze it, slide it in, then I turn the piston, and then did the same thing where I could squeeze the piston ring and then shove it in, and then I swung it back, and then I actually installed the cylinder with the piston with the rings already stuck into the cylinder, and just enough room left out to push the piston pin through, or push the main pin that goes through it. And that worked out fine. And then remember, I only had to have one piston clip to put on, so I didn't have to go nuts. I just put the one piston clip on after I pushed it in with I jiggled it and used a small socket, like a regular, 3/8 set, a small one, like a 1/4 inch or something. I stuck it in. I found one the same size that would lay like right inside of the piston pin. Pushed it right through, and that was it. Then I put the clip in, slid it the rest of the way down, put the head gasket on. Basically that's what got accomplished. I bought a new muffler for it because the other one was kind of dented up and beat up. It wasn't a lot of money. I think I paid $50 for it from one of the 3 or 4 providers of parts. You just shop around on that. I didn't start it yet, but what they're basically saying is what you do with this is you start it, and then you let it run till the cylinder gets hot. Then you shut it off. And you don't run it at a high RPM. You just run it like a low but fluctuating RPM. And then when you feel that the cylinder's hot, you shut it off. You let it cool down. You do it again, and then at that point, then I guess on the third time it says you could ride it, but you just got to go easy a little bit until it breaks in. But I bought that the Permatex engine assembly lube, which is like real slime, and I put that in on the piston but I also used a combination of that and also two cycle oil as well. Another thing on this is kind of an oddball. If you come around to the carburetor on this side, let me see if I can get over there real quick. I could just kind of swing the bike around because, like I said, it weighs almost nothing. Hang on there for a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so what's kind of weird also with this thing is you got to put this cheesy air filter in that doesn't have, it basically is like just a hollow thing with holes in the bottom. No real filtration, but it does have a screen in the top here, which I did clean out. I also cleaned the little filter thing, but the filter thing you have to stick in before you put the carburetor, and you can't get it in. Kind of funny. Another thing I did is I fixed the choke. The choke was frozen. Basically, you got like you have a little lock pin at the end of the cable. That you have to feed it through the bottom, and then there's a brass piece in there with a spring, and then this top plate holds it down. So when you pull the cable, the brass piece comes up and chokes it. So that wasn't working right at all. So, but now obviously it's where it should be. It's fixed. So I got that fixed as well, and I have a cover for this. I got to put the cover back on. And of course the side covers, I have those too, and I'll put those back on as well. So this thing really looks nice. And then I'm gonna put the covers back on. I just wanted to show you what I did with the engine initially, you know, just with the covers off, so you could see it really well. Another issue with this bike is this manifold here. They made 3 of them, a 10, a 12, and a 15 millimeter. This is like a long manifold. It's impossible to find this freaking manifold. So the bottom line is I need a 15 millimeter. 15 millimeter one, if anybody knows, it's exclusive to this bike, because then I might be able to put a different carburetor on here, but we'll see. I mean, you know, I'm just waiting to see how it runs with this cylinder, because it just doesn't have enough power. I go up the hill, it stops. I weigh about 220 pounds. You know, not that I'm going to be riding it all over, but I'd like to see it make it up a hill. Anyway, that's it, YouTubers. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Any questions, comments down below. Thanks for watching.